I think the sewing pattern is super easy. So happy I decided to spend a little bit of time. I just don't like the way it looks. I really white and it has super cute little floral prints on it. Okay, so here we have some of my fabrics. Love it, love it, love it, love it. A gap in the front, and then I'm gonna attach now the bust caps. A part is gonna be folded down like this. We're gonna sew it all the way along here. I don't know why I have never done this before. So I'm gonna make something easy. I did it wrong. I thought I have forget about the sleeves, and instead I'm going to show you how we can finish the raw edges of the sleeve using bias tape and then just cut the new neckline. I'm really happy how it's coming along, so I'm just going to open that up again, make it tighter up here, and then I need 2 meters long instead of 27 centimeters. I want to try and make this top here. Skincare travel bag. As you can see, like, it's super stretchy. Hello and welcome back to another sewing diaries of mine. My name is Ann-Sophie and I'm the person behind Sewing with Solana, and I share my love of sewing with you on here. So mainly I post sewing tutorials, I sell my sewing patterns, and I just share a bit of my everyday life with you here in Australia. I moved to Australia 1.5 years ago. And that's when I also started to upload sewing tutorials on YouTube. And before that, I was living in Barcelona. And I had a made-to-order clothing brand where I would sew all the pieces myself. And yeah, then when I moved to Australia, I just had some time to kill with the visa to come through and everything. So I just started to upload sewing tutorials, and somehow I've built such an amazing community on here, and it makes me so happy that I get to share my love of sewing with you and that I get to be part of your sewing journey. But in this video, what this is all about is I'm going home to visit my friends and my family in 2 weeks, which I'm so excited about. I feel like it's been a long time, like I missed them a lot. So I'm really, really excited to go for 3 weeks over there and see everyone again. I'm so excited, I can't believe it. So that's gonna be very exciting. But obviously I wanna sew a few new pieces of clothing to take with me. And I've made a Pinterest mood board, and I just know exactly what I wanna make, what I feel like is missing in my closet, and some cute outfits that I wanna wear over there. I only have one rule, and my one rule is that I'm not allowed to buy any new fabrics because I have so many fabrics and I just keep buying and buying and buying. But I first need to really go through my fabrics, use some of them up again before I'm allowed to repurchase. So number one rule is I'm not allowed to go to a fabric store this week. I don't know yet how many pieces I'm gonna sew in this video, but yeah, let's go and let's start sewing my pieces for Europe. The first thing that I want to sew is basically the Elisa dress. The Elisa dress is part of my beginner's sewing course, and in the course we're making a maxi dress, but I want to make it into a mini dress. So it's gonna look like this dress here, which is just like a super cute mini dress. And it has like an A-line skirt, and the top part is tied with elastic, like it's sheared together. The only difference, what I want to make, I found this photo on Pinterest, and the skirt is shorter, but the tied part with the sheared fabric is longer. So this is what it looks like. But other than that, it looks pretty identical to the Elisa dress. So that's what I want to do, because the yellow dress that I showed you at the beginning, I've been wearing that so much. It's such a comfortable dress. It's so cute. It's so perfect for summer. And I also have been wearing it a lot recently now that it's getting colder, with some brown boots and then a sweater over it. So I feel like it's a perfect dress, especially for me here in Australia. It doesn't really get super, super cold. Like, it's always warm enough to wear a skirt, boots, and a big sweater most of the year. So this is gonna be fun. So the only thing is, because we're gonna have a longer tied part with the sheared fabric, this is really time consuming, shearing all the fabric together. But other than that, I think it's a super fun and easy sewing project. The only thing that we need to decide now is what fabric I want to use. This fabric I bought a couple months ago when I was in Sydney. I don't remember what kind of material it is, but I feel like it's cotton, maybe a little bit of linen, and it's super pretty. Or I bought this fabric last year when I was in Barcelona, and I made a mini skirt with it, and I feel like this would also be so cute. The only thing is I don't think I have enough fabric to make the whole dress in this fabric. The top part is double lined, so you cut it basically out 4 times. So maybe I'm gonna have the outside fabric in this color, and then the inside of the top I'm gonna just make in this soft pink color. You won't really see it anyways, so maybe I'll do that. Or what I could also do is I bought this fabric a couple weeks ago and I think it's so cute. The only thing is I don't know if it's gonna look nice with shearing the fabric with the dots on it. So I'm a bit indecisive. I feel like this would be super cute, or this. I think this one is out. I think this one I want to use maybe for something else. I think the other 2 fabrics are a bit more fun. But then also on my Pinterest mood board, I found an outfit with a similar fabric to this. Let me show you. Here it is. So it's also like brown with white dots on it. And it looks very similar actually to my Valerie dress sewing pattern, only that this year it's a top and then a separate skirt. But I really just like how the fabric looks, like the design and the fabric. I really like the dots and the brown fabric. I also really like this top here, and I could make it using the Lucy blouse, which would also be super fun with a, like this fabric with the dots on it. Or, oh yeah, here's another inspo pic of what I want to make now, what the dress is going to be like. So this is a maxi dress. I don't want to make it as a maxi dress, but just so you see the vision that I'm going for. Here it's another maxi dress. But yeah, I really like it with a dropped waist. I think that looks super pretty. Okay, I think I'm just gonna make it in this fabric now, and then I can use the polka dot fabric for another sewing project. So the first thing that I need to do now is I need to figure out how long and short I need to make my new pattern pieces. So this is the Elisa dress for the top that I used for the yellow dress, and it's 27 centimeters long. And now because I want the top part to be longer, I think I'm gonna make it 35 centimeters long instead of 27 centimeters. And I think I'm first gonna cut out the top part. Maybe I'll sew the top part first, and then I can put it on to then decide how long I want my skirt to be. Maybe that would be the smartest thing to do. But at the same time, I don't wanna sew the whole top part, which is gonna be quite time intensive, and then learn that I don't have enough fabric for the skirt. So, okay, maybe let's go back. And you know what I just said? Let's first cut out all the pattern pieces, and then I can always cut the skirt a bit shorter later on. Yeah, let's do that. I feel like sewing and cutting stripy fabric is a blessing and a curse at the same time, because in one way it really helps you to cut straight lines and to sew straight lines, but then at the same time it really makes it obvious when you didn't cut or didn't sew a straight line. I'm trying to decide right now, because with the top the stripes are gonna go this way, and now I'm wondering if I want the stripes of the skirt to go the other way, so it looks like this, or if I want them all to go into the same direction. I actually think it would be fun to make them go in different directions. Yeah, I think that's going to be cool to have the stripes of the top go this way and then the stripes of the skirt go down. So I have now cut out the skirt in my stripy fabric 2 times, 1 time for the front, 1 time for the back. And then I cut the top out 2 times in the stripy fabric, also once for the front, once for the back. And then I'm gonna cut it out 2 times, the top part in the plain pink fabric, which is later on gonna be my lining. So I've just sewn the skirt together now, the 2 pieces, but we can put that to the side for now. And then I've also sewn the top part together. So this is going to be my outside, and then here you can see the inside. So I first sewn the 2 stripy pieces together, then the 2 solid color, like the just like the one color without the stripes, and then I've sewn them together at the top here. So now we have one long tube, and now it's time to shear the fabric. This is the shearing elastic that I'm going to use, and I have 2 of them. I don't know if I need 2. I actually don't think so, but we'll see. And what I now need to do is I need to take an empty bobbin and by hand put the shearing elastic. As you can see, like it's super stretchy. I need to put that now on here. And then we're gonna leave the top thread as it is on the sewing machine. And then we're gonna put the elastic thread in the bottom. So this is gonna take a bit of time. And now it's just important when you spin this on here that you don't pull on the elastic. And then you just start sewing. I put my stitch length to as high as possible, and it's just very important that you always front and back stitch. So now I'm almost finished shearing all the fabric. I'm gonna leave the last few centimeters as they are for now, because first I'm gonna add the skirt, because if I shear it till the very bottom, then it's gonna be really hard sewing the skirt on here. So now I'm gonna have the good sides facing each other, and I'm just going to line up the side seam of the skirt and of the top and then sew in one big circle. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It looks a bit weird because I need to finish the shearing and then I'm going to try it on. And once you're done shearing your fabric, go to your iron and then hover your iron a few centimeters above your fabric and just press on steam, and this will then also shrink the shearing a bit together, which is really cool. Okay, so there is some things we need to talk about. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it's very flattering on my body having this part so tight around here. So what I'm thinking, because I made the skirt too long, either I would shorten the skirt anyways quite a bit, or what I'm thinking of doing now is shortening the top part and then making the skirt a little bit longer again, like making the skirt like this. Feel like that's a bit more flattering on my body. Okay, I'm finished with the dress now. I'm so happy I made the changes to it. It is so cute. I'm gonna show it to you tomorrow because it's getting a bit dark and I feel like the dress deserves good lighting so I can show it to you properly. But yeah, so happy I decided to spend a little bit of time on it to shorten the top part. And now I'm gonna go home. I only had a super quick day in my sewing studio today, but tomorrow I have a full day. And I'm really excited, so I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning and welcome back to day 2 of my sewing diaries. I'm still a bit tired. I feel like I need to wake up first. So I'm gonna make something easy now and something that I've been doing for a long time. I'm gonna make a new makeup bag, but not to use it for my makeup, but to put my skincare in it, because every time when I usually travel, I just throw my skincare and everything just somewhere in my suitcase or in my bag, and it's always very chaotic and not very practical. So I wanna make a new makeup bag and just make it as big as possible. I'm pretty limited on the fluffy fabric that we sew onto the fabric. Like, it's not really fabric, it's like this. So many people call it different things. Like a couple months ago I asked what it is called, but everyone gave me a different answer. I would call it padding. I bought mine from Spotlight, and yeah, I don't have so much left. Whatever I have left, that's how big I'm gonna make my bag. Then I have this zipper. This is the only zipper that I still had in my studio. I still have a lot of invisible zippers, but I wanted to use like a normal, not proper zipper, but this kind of zipper. For the skincare bag. And yeah, it's in this light pink. So I'm gonna make my skincare bag also in pink, which I think is going to be so cute. And this fabric is going to be my main fabric. I bought this fabric from a fabric store on the Gold Coast called Fantasia Fabricland, and I just think the fabric is so cute. And it's 100% cotton. And then for the lining, I'm going to use the same fabric that I used for the lining of the top part from the dress from yesterday. Also 100% cotton, and this is from Spotlight, and I'm pretty sure I bought the zipper also from Spotlight. So yeah, I'm just gonna make it, cut out the fabric now and make the fabric pieces as big as they possibly can be. I'm gonna share my dimensions and everything with you in a second. And I'm really excited to have I don't know why I have never done this before, because I've made quite a few makeup bags, but always small makeup bags. So I'm really excited to make a big one now. So let's go. Okay, so I've cut out my fabric now, and I made everything 36 centimeters wide and 68 centimeters long. I really wish I could have made it longer, but I just don't have enough of this here. Oh my God, I did it wrong. I thought I have to cut out everything twice, but I only need to cut it out once. Ah! What the heck? Okay, I guess that's actually good, because that means I can make it bigger. Oh my God, so silly. I always think, because like usually when you make a piece of clothing, you have to cut everything, like the front ones, the back ones, you know? And I guess maybe I was still stuck in like thinking about yesterday when we cut out the front of the dress that you have to cut out. Yeah, doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm just gonna sew the pieces together now. How do we do this? So because I could just sew them together, but then they would be way too long, then it would be well, 130 centimeters long, which is way too long. I think maybe I'm gonna have it 80 centimeters in total. I'm so silly. Okay. Okay, no problem. Okay, so now we can finally start. Oh, so annoying that I made that mistake. Anyways, don't make the mistake like I did. You only need one piece of your main fabric, which is going to be on the outside. And I made mine now, it's super long. I hope it's going to look cute, we'll see. So it's 90 centimeters long and 36 centimeters wide. And then same measurements for the lining. This is going to be on the inside. And then same measurements for this piece. And now I'm gonna sew this and my main fabric, this one, together. Yeah, it looks super long, but at the same time, like obviously I also have a lot of things that I'm gonna put in there. So you'll see, hopefully it turns out cute. Let's start, let's go. Okay, so I'm finished with my skincare travel pouch. What should we call it? Is it like a skincare bag? I guess let's call it a skincare bag. So I feel like it looks pretty big, and it is pretty big, which is good. I really want my shampoo to fit in here, my body lotion, all my skincare, my creams, everything. So this is amazing. I feel like it has the perfect size to fit in this suitcase. So that's really cool. I think next time if I make this again, I would get a zipper that's around 40 centimeters long, or maybe even 45 centimeters, just because then you would have a bigger opening. Like my opening is just like that. I think it would be better to have, yeah, just like a longer zipper. But I really hope that my skincare order arrives today, and then I can fill this up and like put my shampoo in there and then really show you how much fits in here. So I'm gonna circle back to my skincare travel bag tomorrow. And now it's time to make a piece of clothing again. I'm gonna show you something that I found on Pinterest. I had saved this already a while ago. It's a jersey top, and I think it's so cute. So I want to try and recreate it. One thing I want to make, I really love this outfit. Like I think it looks so nice with the necklace, and it's just like a super simple white tube top. So I have some white jersey. I think it's actually bamboo jersey, and bamboo jersey is my favorite. It's so soft. So I really just want to make a super simple tube top. I don't know yet if I'm going to make it like this, like where it's just like super simple, or if I'm going to make it as the tutorial that I posted a couple weeks ago, where it's super long and then you can fold the top part down. I actually think that's going to be maybe a better option, just because white fabric can be a bit see-through sometimes. And then if I make it like my tutorial, then we have 4 layers of fabric around the boobs, and then we really don't have to worry about it being see-through. So I'm gonna make that today. Oops! But first, I want to try and make this top here. So I think what we need is 2 pattern pieces. One super long one, like not super long actually, just like that fits around here. and I'm gonna cut it out twice, so it's double lined. And then I need a pattern piece for the bust piece, for the bust cup. And I'm gonna cut that out 4 times, so the bust cups are also double lined. And then either what I could do is that you can tie it in the back, or I can sew them together at the neck, and then it's just like this, which I think I would prefer, just because sometimes I find it a bit annoying when you have to tie, because it would be quite chunky, because the fabric, like the jersey fabric, or I think it's actually bamboo jersey that I have for that, would be a lot of fabric to tie in your neck. So I think it would be nicer if I don't have to tie it. Let's go downstairs, have a look at my fabrics to decide in which color I'm gonna make it. I think this is a dark blue, and I also have dark blue bamboo jersey, but I also have brown. So maybe I would actually make it in brown. Okay, so let's go downstairs and look for a fabric, and then we can attempt to make the top. Hopefully it goes well. Okay, so here we have some of my fabrics. There's some more in a cabinet down there, but you don't want to have a look at it because it's very chaotic and messy. So the fabric options that we have. I definitely want to make it with jersey fabric. So I'm going to show you what options we have. Okay, so these are the options that we have. Let's have a look at them. Maybe, because the thing is, I don't know if the first sample is gonna turn out perfect. I might have to make 2. So maybe I'll make them in different colors. I don't know. Let's go over to my table and decide. Okay, so option number 1 is super white cotton jersey. Option number 2, which I really like, is a cream white bamboo jersey. So soft, so pretty. And I prefer cream white over a crisp white. So that's definitely a good option. Then I have some of this left. Maybe that would be enough to make the first sample. So that would be an option. Then I have some black cotton jersey. I don't think I want to make it in black. Then I have blue bamboo jersey. It is so soft. Same with the white one. Bamboo jersey is just so soft, which is nice. And then it would be the closest to the Pinterest inspo. But my favorite color, I think, is this brown bamboo jersey. I also made the Josie dress using this fabric. And then I also have some gray jersey, which I use this gray one and the blue one to make the tube top tutorial when I filmed that tutorial for you. So I think my favorite options are the cream white bamboo jersey and the brown bamboo jersey. Maybe I'm gonna make it in this one because later on I wanna make a simple tube top in the cream white. So yeah. So the first pattern piece will be sitting here. And I think I'm gonna make it exactly the measurement of my waist, and I'm not gonna add any seam allowance or anything. I'm just gonna divide it. No, I'm gonna leave it as one. I'm not gonna have a separate back and front pattern piece. I'm gonna have it as one piece. So I'm gonna make it as wide as my waist, and then I'm gonna make it 16 centimeters long, including the seam allowance. So 16 centimeters plus my waist measurement, and then I'm going to cut it out 2 times because I want it double lined. And I'm going to make myself a sewing pattern for it. I always use brown packaging paper that I get from like an office supply store or from the post office. Now the pattern piece, it's going to be a little bit harder. The thing is with jersey fabric, it's so stretchy and forgiving. So I'm just gonna measure across my bust how wide I want it to be here. Let me look at the photo again. Yeah, so the fabric is going to be gathered together here. Okay, amazing. I just threw my pattern piece away. Here we go. I'll just go upstairs and iron it quickly. What I did so far is I had this part that goes over here. I have sewn them first, those two cups together, then those two, and then I've sewn them together here, which is then going to be in the neck. And then this is going to be the lining for here. And first I have sewn one of them together, just like at the short end. So it's like one round tube now. And then I found the middle, which is going to be at the front. And then I pinned 2 needles here, and I think they're 4 centimeters apart from each other because there's going to be a gap in the front, and then I'm going to attach now the bust caps. And I need to gather the fabric together a bit, which I think is always a bit hard, gathering fabric of jersey fabric. But we'll figure it out. I have no idea what I'm doing, you know, like I'm just trying my best. Maybe I have to unpick everything again, maybe not, we'll see. I never have super high expectations when I make something for the first time. I just start doing, see how I go. And I think the best way to learn is by making mistakes and then knowing what you would do differently next time. I'm wondering, usually I would always sew everything with my overlock machine when I work with jersey fabric, but now I'm wondering if maybe first I sew in the cups with my normal sewing machine, just because I think maybe it's easier making sure that the gathered fabric stays in place. Maybe I'll just do that with a zigzag stitch, because if I use the stretch stitch, it's so hard to unpick again because it does so many little stitches back and forth. And I don't expect that it's gonna be perfect straight away. So I think I'm just gonna go over here and change it to a zigzag stitch and sew on the cups. I'm nervous. Okay, so I've just tried the top on now quickly just to see roughly how it's going, if it's a complete disaster or not. But I'm so happy. It fits so nicely. There's a few things that I want to change. I think on one of the sides, this side, I don't like the gathers so much. I feel like here it looks a bit nicer, so I'm going to open this up again. And then when this is open, I can then, the main thing is that I need to change this. I need to make it a bit tighter here, so I need to take away a few centimeters, and then I feel like it's going to fit even better. But other than that, I could also make it a bit more closed like this here, but I think it looks super nice like this. I'm really happy how it's coming along. So I'm just going to open that up again, make it tighter up here, and then I need to sew in the lining, like another layer of this part. Okay, I'm finished with the top now, and oh my god, it turned out so nice. I love it. I think it's also a combination of the fabric and then, I don't know, like the piece fits so nicely. For a first try, I wouldn't make anything differently. Like I would make it exactly the same again. I'm going to show you in a second what my sewing pattern looks like, so you can recreate it. But yeah, basically I've just first sewn here 2 of the cups together, 2 of the cups, sewn them together at the neck, and then first I attached it to one of the long pieces that goes around here, and I've sewn the piece together at the back here, and then I've attached the lining also first up here. And then instead of closing it down here, you need to leave a little gap like you do with the tube top. You also leave a gap on one side so you can later flip it. And then the way I've hemmed it here, basically it's also like an invisible, like you can't see any stitching, is also the same way I hemmed the tube top. So not only does it look super nice, but also there's so many nice finishes. Like you don't see any seams, it's completely reversible. Only on the inside at the back here, there's like a little stitching this much where you can see that I've like had to close the little gap at the end. But other than that, also, this is what it looks like. You can either wear it like this, but then you can also just twist it a little bit, which I think looks super cute. So yeah, that's a win. I'm so happy. So here are the 2 pattern pieces you need if you also want to make the top. And I made this piece 17 centimeters wide, and then this one I made as wide as my waist, but then I ended up taking 2 centimeters away. So then it's, for me, 67 centimeters. And then this bust piece is, I made mine 40 centimeters long. And then here at the bottom you can see that I cut it a bit round at the ends, and here it's 21 centimeters wide, and up here 13 centimeters, so it goes like this, and then it's rounded here a little bit, and that's all you need to make the top. Okay, so I'm gonna make my tube top now, and I've decided to make it with a folded down part just because I want to be, like, I'm not gonna be wearing my tube top with a bra, and then I really want to make sure that it's not see-through. So I'm gonna walk you through it also now quickly how to make it. But if you need a full in-depth step-by-step tutorial, I'm gonna link the tutorial for you down below. But first you need to take your bust measurement, and then you need to divide it by 2, and then you take away 5 centimeters to make sure it's nice and tight. And for me, that's around 37 centimeters. So 37 centimeters at the front, 37 centimeters at the back. And then you can figure out how long you want yours to be. Make sure that you calculate in that the top part of the top is gonna be folded down across your bust. And then I'm gonna make mine 50 centimeters long. And you need to cut it out 4 times because it's fully double lined. So you have 2 layers at the front and 2 layers at the back. So yeah, I'm gonna be using bamboo jersey again, which, trust me, so soft, so nice. So I'm just gonna cut those out, and then we can start sewing. need to leave one of them as it is. The other one you can flip. And then you want to stick them like one. Okay, so this one, here's the good side. This one I didn't flip. And now I put the other one in here. And then I line up the side seams. And then we're going to sew the top together, like the two pieces, we're going to sew them together at the top in a big circle. And then instead of having two separate pieces, we're only going to have one piece. I'm thinking about maybe, because I always get so many messages about beginner sewing machines, so I'm thinking about maybe buying a super budget, simple sewing machine to give it a review and to figure out if I would recommend it to you or not. Let me know if I should do that, and let me know which sewing machine you want me to test. I think that would be fun. Because it's so hard, like I can of course only recommend the sewing machines that I've been using, and I've not been using so many different machines, so maybe that would be good, that I can finally then give you an answer which machine you can get as a beginner. But yeah, now we're gonna sew in a circle around here. I always take a big needle like this to finish off my overlock seam, because with an overlock machine you can't front and back stitch. Okay, now I can flip it and then you could try it on for the first time. So this is what it looks like. This is actually going to be the inside, because here's the gap that I left. So this will be the inside, and it's going to be more like this. And then the top part is going to be folded down like this. Now there's only two steps left to do. This top is seriously so easy to make. So right now, here is going to be your body. Right now, the good side, the outside is facing me, and then the other good side is going to face your body, which means the two bad sides are facing each other. And now we need to finish the bottom. And what you're going to do, right now the seams, the bad sides are facing each other. And now you're going to, it doesn't matter if you do it on this side here or on the other side, it doesn't matter at all. Bad sides are facing each other right now. Now you pull them apart, and then you're going to make them meet again with the good side facing each other. And now you're going to sew in a big circle again, but this time it's not going to be as easy as at the top, because you need to pull the fabric around a little bit. Maybe it sounds confusing, like what do you mean? But when you do it, it makes sense. And then once you've sewn in a full circle, once you get back to the point where you've started, you then need to find the little gap that you have left, and then you can flip it. So let's sew. And then you need to find your gap, and now you flip the whole top around. And the last step now is that you need to close this gap here. So you're going to fold the seam allowance inside like this on both sides, and then you just sew from here to here. Like you want to start a few centimeters before where the gap starts and finish a few centimeters before after the gap ends. So with my machine, either I would do it now on a zigzag stitch, or this is a stretch stitch. I'm gonna do it with a zigzag stitch at 2.5 stitch length, and then 5.5 over here. Okay, so this tube top is so easy and so quick to make. I'm always so amazed, like especially when you have an overlock machine, because they're so super fast. This is super easy, and I feel like it's such a cute top to make. I'm really happy that I decided to have it with the folded down part, because otherwise it would be too see-through. And Yeah, amazing. I'm so happy. This is gonna look so cute. I feel like I've lost my whole tan because I don't know, if just the weather has not been good here, and I've just been spending a lot of time in my sewing studio and a lot of time at the beach, but I'm excited to bring this to Europe with me and then to Bali. I feel like this is such a perfect wardrobe staple, and it's also gonna look so cute with a button-up shirt. So yeah, if you're looking for a quick and easy and a cute sewing project, definitely make yourself the tube top.